G'day and welcome to the channel. So today I'm celebrating all my DSLRs. So I'm going to start with the 40D. This was my very first DSLR, and I actually got another DSLR that I always wanted but could never afford, and that is the mighty 1DX, the original 1DX. It's just such a beast and just so much fun. I actually have my 5D Mark IV, which was my last DSLR, and I'm actually going to part ways with this camera. So I thought it might be a way to celebrate this camera by just coming to a local wetland and putting it through its paces. So you might be wondering, well, Duade, why are you using DSLRs? Mirrorless is the future. And clearly that's the case, but lots of us still use DSLRs. Alrighty, so what lenses am I going to be using? Why not two of the best valued lenses you can get for Canon? One being the Sigma 150-600, which I've used a fair bit recently, so thanks Brian again for lending it to me, and my trusty old 400 5.6, which I've had forever. Alright, so what are we going to photograph today? Mainly ducks, and I've actually just spotted a Pacific black duck with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 or 9 ducklings. Okay, so just very quickly before I get set up, I'll just explain this because everyone asks about it. It's the ground pod. You would have seen me use it multiple times. It just goes on the ground, you put your gimbal on it, put the camera on it, you can lay down flat and away you go. All right, so we just got to balance it on the gimbal so that we can move it and it doesn't fall anywhere. So we've got that, we'll lock that up, and now that's ready to go. Alrighty, so the sun's actually coming up behind me here and it's going to be going this way, so I'm going to be laying down here next to the water's edge. So obviously we need to get down nice and low. That's why I've got the wet weather gear on, because I'm going to be laying in the mud here. Alright, so let's lay down. Oh, it never gets any easier laying down in the mud. But this is the best angle to get the best shot. So currently got the 5D Mark IV, the Sigma 150-600. I'm down low, there's no birds directly in front of me, but if I lay here and wait, hopefully these ducklings will come towards me. That's the goal. All right, so the first thing I need to do, because I'm shooting on a DSLR, is I need to check my exposure. So the sun hasn't quite come up yet, so I'm at ISO 3200, 7.1 with a shutter speed of 800. So I just need to take a test shot on something. And then on the back of the screen I can see my histogram to see what my exposure's like, and I'm a little bit underexposed. All right, so I need to lower that shutter speed down to 640. I'll just check. Okay, that's looking good. Oh, the ducklings are coming towards me. My exposure's fine now. Oh, they move around so quickly. Listen to that shutter. Just checking my exposure. Fine. Oh, that's so cute. They're coming directly at me. Oh, these ducklings are right in front of us. They're still a little bit far away, but they're definitely here in front of us. Oh, very cool. Well, I'm happy to see that the ducklings are so happy to come towards me, which bodes well when the sun finally reaches us. Got a mother with all the ducklings following her. Oh, that's cute. Oh, I almost blew the exposure, I think. I'm already struggling with the exposure. I just had a mother and all the ducklings following her, and I think I may have overexposed them, so I just forgot that on the OVF, so on a DSLR, you don't have an electronic viewfinder, so you don't get the exposure. So you have to rely on the meter and checking the histogram to get an accurate exposure. There's quite a few of them here. I'll try and get some video. So the 5D4 does shoot video, but the autofocus is pretty woeful compared to like the R6 and what have you. I've just been laying next to the water and the birds have all moved down to this other side of the lake. So I'm just going to go for a walk, move my way around and see if we can't get some shots over there. We've got some grebes here. Got a grebe swimming straight at us. See that grebe Let's drill here. So the sun's coming up now, so I'm going to move and see if we can't find some birds somewhere else. So let's go and do that. We're just not getting the sunlight that I'm after in that corner. All right, so I've moved spots and the ducklings are actually over on the far side of this lake. Hopefully if I lay here, they'll come towards me. That's the goal. So we've got the mother and her ducklings. All right, we're in business, we're in business. All right, oh, this is looking good. Oh, got mother and ducklings all going together. Well, that was awesome. We had the mother and all the ducklings just following her. Hopefully we got some shots there. Let's grab the 1DX and we'll give that a go and we'll say goodbye to the 5D4. It's been good to me. Thank you for all the photos. I appreciate it, and hopefully the new owner will enjoy it as much as I did. So let's grab that 1DX. So we've got the 1DX. Instantly brings a smile to my face. It's just such a big brute of a camera. It feels amazing. It's just a joy to use. And I can see some a grebe just there in front of us. Oh, it just sounds amazing. Listen to that shutter. It's a beast. Oh, and it just feels so good in your hand. Okay, so back in 2011, when this camera first came out, it was really expensive. I forget what it was in Australia. It might have been up between $7,000 or $8,000, something like that. I was never going to be able to afford it. I was using a 7D. I did manage to try this camera once. Canon brought it along to a function and we all had a bit of a play with it. I remember being in love with it and wanting it, but never been able to afford it. Well, the benefit of DSLRs are they've come down quite a lot in price, and you can pick up this beast of a camera for around 800 US. I think it's fair, and to be honest, you get an amazing camera, the weather sealing, the build quality, it's a really good sensor still. So for me, I think that's probably one of the better DSLRs out there if you can handle the weight, and it's so much fun to use. And that's exactly what I did. I bought it secondhand because I'd always wanted one, and I'll have this forever. I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to bring it out and have a bit of fun every now and again, as I am today. So, and as you can see, if you've got a correctly balanced gimbal, you don't really have to worry about the weight. It's very easy to use, that's for sure. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't got a gimbal, is to get one. And obviously this ground pod allows us to get down low, and it makes it much, much easier to shoot. These ducklings are coming very close. Right, so I'm just crawling towards the black-fronted Dotterel. I've quickly moved around. There's a black-fronted Dotterel just up in front of me. It's in the sun. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's coming towards me. This black-fronted Dotterel keeps coming towards us. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, amazing. Oh, it's giving us some amazing poses. Oh. 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 It keeps coming closer and closer. Alrighty, so I changed over to the 40D and the 400 5.6. Anyone that's been on my channel a while will know this was my very first DSLR and my very first birding lens. So they dear to my heart. I'm never going to sell them, and I really love pulling it out and just having fun to see what's capable from this 10 megapixel camera. So the first bird I struck was a purple swamp hen that was just walking along, and immediately noticed there's only, I think, 9 focus points. So when you look through the viewfinder, you've got one in the middle and then a few on the outside, which makes it a little bit of a challenge. Autofocus is nowhere near as good as the others, but look, it worked pretty well, and I'm pretty sure we got some shots. And then I spotted a crested pigeon, and they're really, really cool because they've got this erect crest and they've got some nice colors on their flank. And so I sort of got down on the ground and I've crawled towards it, and I think there was maybe 2 birds there, and I've just laid there, obviously pointing the camera, just been very calm, not moving. And then 2 other birds flew down, and we had 4 birds, and I just laid there probably for 10 or 15 minutes and just, you know, just taking photos. And if you don't move a lot, the birds can be quite calm. If you get up and move towards them, they'll often fly off. So I made the most of that situation, and I hit the buffer constantly. The buffer again on these old Canon cameras is woeful, but you know, I was having a lot of fun photographing those crested pigeons, and I'm pretty sure we got some shots. This 40D, I think you can pick this up for around $80 odd US, so very, very affordable, takes really good shots. I believe this lens here is about 600 to 800 US used, so still not cheap, but for under 1,000 US, you can definitely get a kit that's gonna enable you to take some really, really good photos. A couple of turtles out on a rock out here. See if I can get a bit closer. So I'm not exactly sure what sort of turtles they are. Okay, that was pretty cool to see those 2 turtles there. All right, well, that brings my session to an end. I had a really good time, had a lot of fun using my DSLRs, saying goodbye to my 5D4. The 1DX obviously brought the biggest smile to my face, and my trusty old 40D. Got lots of shots, hopefully they turned out all right, you would have seen them. I think there's still life in DSLRs yet, and my next video I'm going to talk about the best DSLRs for 2023, and I need your help. I want you to let me know what you think are the best cameras to get for under 500 US, under 1,000 US, and under 1,500 US. It can be any brand, any make. What's the best DSLR for people to buy in 2023? Also let us know which lens you think best suits those cameras, and remember, we have to try and be budget friendly. So I want to create a video that's going to help people that are getting into wildlife photography and don't have a lot of money to spend. Well, if you enjoyed the video, obviously give it that thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. Until the next one, take care, happy birding, see you later.